Think Charlotte's peaked? Nah, not even close. 2025 is a turning point, and if you've been paying attention, you already feel it. The skyline is shifting. Whole neighborhoods are waking back up. Transit upgrades are starting to connect to the city in ways that make sense. And the lifestyle here, it's changing block by block. Some spots that used to be red hot, they're cooling off, but others, they're catching fire fast. In this next chapter, it's coming quicker than most people realize. We're going to cover it all today. What's rising? What's fading? Where the jobs are landing? Which neighborhoods are waking up, and how Charlotte's culture is finally leveling up to match the growth. If you live here or you're thinking about moving here, this is the update you need to hear. Now picture this, you're driving through South End on a Tuesday. Sun's out, rail trails packed, breweries are buzzing, and just past your usual block, boom, there's scaffolding, cranes, and a brand new mid-rise where there used to be nothing but an old parking lot and a roof. At that moment, it's happening all over Charlotte right now. Quiet corners are turning into hot zones, empty lots filling in with rooftops, trails, and restaurants and skyline views. And here's the thing, most people won't even notice until it's done. But if you catch it early, you start to understand just how fast the Queen City's shifting and where the smart moves are. Let's kick this off by looking up, because what's happening in the skyline is already rewriting everything on the ground. And if you're watching this thinking, I don't want to wait until it's all overpriced and picked over, that's where I come in. I work with buyers, sellers, and relocators buying brand new homes every single week, right here on the ground, talking to builders and tracking which blocks are heating up before the average buyer even notices. So get in contact with me, my information's on the screen, and let's build you a plan before that window tightens and you get priced out. If you've driven through South End or Uptown lately, you felt it. That quiet hum under the surface that makes you glance up at the skyline and realize something big is happening here. Cranes dot the horizon like punctuation marks. What used to be gravel lots and forgotten warehouses now rising with steel, glass, and energy. This isn't just growth, it's reinvention. Take the Queensbridge Collective, for example, a $700 million mega project that's physically linking South End to Uptown, creating a true live, work, play corridor in the heart of the city. It's not just about the building, it's about walkability, design, and culture coming together in one stretch of Charlotte that used to be disconnected. And this vertical shift is pulling all kinds of people, millennials and Gen X, who want that lock and leave lifestyle. They're walking the rail trail, working remote jobs from rooftop decks, and living in places where coffee shops, the gym, and happy hour are all downstairs. But here's the surprise. More and more empty nesters are jumping in too. Picture a couple in their late 50s, stepping out of their 10th floor condo at the Fulcrum. Dog leash in one hand, coffee in the other. They've traded yard work for skyline views and spontaneous getaways. Because when everything's walkable, life opens up, you don't have to worry about cutting the grass. And these buildings, they're not just apartments, they're vertical neighborhoods and amazing communities. You've got Garden Grace, a modern steakhouse coming to Charlotte from Denver, already creating buzz. You've got Nightswind Coffee, a homegrown roaster known for its bold flavor and cool industrial vibe. It's anchoring the street level scene. And then there's Sycamore Brewing and South End's favorite, now opening a massive second location at the new Linnea Tower. Here's what matters. This isn't hypothetical, but you can buy into this shift. The Fulcrum near Wilmore is one of the only for-sale condo towers uptown, and it launched last fall with units started around $300,000. It's a narrow window for the people who want to plant roots, not just sign a lease, because when towers go up, everything changes around them. Value, walkability, lifestyle, investment potential. And if you wait too long, you're not ahead of the curve anymore, you're chasing. And we're just getting warmed up, because while the skyline tells one story, there are whole neighborhoods quietly transforming below the radar. That's where the real opportunity lives. Are you into high-rise living, or do you still want something with a front porch and a backyard? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to know how you'd live in Charlotte. We've got some wild stuff coming up. From neighborhoods most buyers still overlook to the culture scenes that are flipping Charlotte's identity on its head. Let's hit the ground and talk about 5 neighborhoods that are waking up faster than people realize. Let's start off where creativity cracked the door open and now development is kicking it wide. Camp North End, North Tryon Court. This was once a gritty industrial site. Camp North End has become Charlotte's new creative pulse with murals, food pop-ups, live DJ sets, outdoor pickleball, and events that feel more Brooklyn and less business park. But it's not just for artists and entrepreneurs anymore. The entire North Tryon corridor is evolving into a full-blown innovation district because it's just off of uptown with tech hubs, green space, and trails in the mix. And yes, people are moving in. You're seeing townhomes. The first scrapes have already started. You've got live-work loft and sleek apartments rising right near the act. This is where character beats convenience and is growing fast. Now let's head east where an old landmark is making way for one of Charlotte's smartest reinventions yet. East Charlotte has roots, deep roots, and right now it's rewriting its story. Eastland Mall is gone, but what's rising in its place is smart growth, townhome, green space, a regional library, and a diverse community that never left. The price point is still accessible, the culture is strong, and for a lot of buyers, this is one of the last frontiers where value and vibrancy overlap. Are you thinking about buying here before the crowd does? Let's talk. Up next, let's swing towards the edge of uptown where charming homes meet skyline views in the most unexpected way. Wesley Heights, Seversville. This is where early South End energy is starting to bubble up quiet but steadily. Wesley Heights in Seversville gives you tree-lined streets, old mill homes, new townhome builds, but with the skyline peeking through like a promise. You're right on the Greenway, minutes from uptown, with bike shops and breweries tucked into every block. It's still residential, but you can feel the shift coming. And when that shift hits, it won't be subtle. Now let's head south, where a neighborhood is growing in all the right ways without losing its local heart. Greer Heights. Greer Heights is turning a new corner. New homes are going up, community anchors are being restored, and for once, developers are adding, not erasing what's already here. It's not flashy, it's not overbuilt, it's just quietly positioning itself near 2 of Charlotte's strongest anchors, Cotswold and South Park. And now let's head west, where big changes are just beginning and early believers are starting to take notice. Enderley Park, Freedom Drive corridor. 10 years ago, you drove through Enderley Park and didn't think twice. You probably didn't stop at stop signs or maybe even red lights. Now, it's on the radar for all the right reasons. Townhomes are going up. New sidewalks are being poured. Cafes and corner stores are moving in. It's rough around the edge, don't get me wrong, but the spark is real. You believe in buying before the buzz. This is that moment. This one's for the visionary. You know who you are, willing to take a risk and buying early. These last 5 are the pockets of the city where people used to say, one day, maybe. Well, one day is getting closer and many of them will be there. What's fueling all this movement is jobs. Because when employers bet on the city, neighborhoods follow. And the Charlotte job market is rewriting the map faster than most people realize. And what you'll notice in this Charlotte is the neighborhoods that are seeing this revitalization and the ones that have already flipped over and are now great places to live. They all have easy access to uptown. They've got easy access to hot spots like Noda, and it's all coming together, and it's really incredible to see. If you really want to know where this city is headed, look past the cranes and the condos. Follow the payroll, because jobs, they're the engine. They decide which neighborhoods rise, which homes sell fast, and where new schools, parks, and trails get built. And in 2025, Charlotte's job market is moving like it knows something big is coming. Major employers making major moves. Big names aren't just sticking around, they're doubling down. Places like Honeywell, Bank of America, Linden Tree, and Truist are anchoring Charlotte's financial core. But it's not just banks anymore. You've got Red Ventures, Avid Exchange, and Arrival giving the city real momentum in tech and fintech. And in just the last 18 months, over 80 new companies have expanded or relocated here. Everything from EV manufacturing to logistics to healthcare tech. Charlotte used to be the city chasing jobs. Now it's the one choosing which ones to keep. And the most exciting part, the real growth is coming from the industries you don't always see in the headline. Beyond the big names, look past the skyline, and the real move are even more interesting. Biotech campuses are in the works near University City. EV and battery tech firms are setting up along the I-85 corridor. Logistics hubs are heating up in the Steel Creek and West Charlotte area. These aren't just trend stories, they're sticky, long-term employers with serious staying power. And when jobs show up like this, people follow, sometimes from across the country, even the world. So you ask, who's moving here? Why? We've got mid-career professionals, remote workers, young families, exec-level transplants. They're all doing the math. Strong job market, lower cost of living, a lifestyle that feels less frantic, and the result, over 120 people a day are moving to Charlotte in 2025. They're not just chasing work, they're chasing balance, and it's changing where people choose to live. It used to be all about uptown proximity. Now people are buying in West Charlotte, University City, even the East Side, because that's where the talent clusters are growing. That shift, it's already happened. Every block we just talked about, and scene 2, as the population grows, the next big question becomes, how do we all move through this city? And here's the thing, when you zoom out, the timing gets even more interesting, because it's not just the job market that's heating up, it's how people move. Charlotte's finally upgrading the way it connects the neighborhood, jobs, and home. If you haven't heard about the transit transformation happening across the city, buckle up. Are you thinking about making a move for work? Drop me a comment and tell you what's bringing you here to the city. Is it career, lifestyle, or something else entirely? And if you're looking at this thinking, okay, I need a game plan before things get too competitive, this is where I can help. Whether you're relocating, investing, or just trying to time the market, not always the best idea, get in touch with me and let's get you a plan together. All right. Let's talk transit and trails and how Charlotte movement is finally catching up to its momentum. Let's be honest, Charlotte hasn't always been the easiest city to get around. If you didn't have a car and a podcast queue, you were probably stuck. But in 2025, things are starting to feel different, because for the first time in years, Charlotte's not just growing up, it's starting to connect. And the way people move through the city is evolving faster than most realize. The trail network is turning into a real system. It started as small bits of trail here, a bike lane there, but now those pieces are coming together. The Cross Charlotte Trail, once a patchwork of promise, is finally stitching itself together into a true north-south artery. The rail trail in South End is still the crown jewel, but now spurs are reaching into Wilmore, Dilworth, and even West Charlotte. Sidewalks are getting smaller. Crossings are safer, and some neighborhoods are shifting from drive first to walk first community. That shift alone changes the way people choose where to live. And if you think that's big, wait till you hear what's in motion on the rail side of things. Light rail is expanding and changing the map. The proposed Silver Line is a game changer. Once complete, it'll connect Charlotte Douglas to Uptown, East Charlotte, and even Union County. It's still in planning, but the route is taking shape. Land studies are underway, and the areas along the line are already heating up. Places like Wilmore, Elizabeth, Eastland. These aren't just stops on the map. They're becoming investment zones years before the first trains roll in. But it's not just light rail. Ground level mobility is getting a glow up too. West End is finally getting the transit love it deserves. For years, West Boulevard and the West End corridor felt left out of the progress conversation. Not anymore. That's changing. New bus lines, greenway extensions, and planned multimodal hubs are being designed to connect South End to the airport without touching I-77. That's huge for both traffic and real estate value. And improvements to Charlotte Douglas International Airport, including new terminal, a massive lobby revamp, and future rail integration in the west side of the city is set up very much in play. And if you're not big on trains or buses, don't worry. Charlotte hasn't forgotten the two-wheeled crowd. Scooters, bikes, and car light e-scooters and bike shares aren't new, but now the city's taking them seriously. Think dedicated mobility lanes, safer routes, and car light zoning in new mixed-use development. If you're living in places like South End, Wilmore, or parts of Noda, you might start going days without needing your car at all. How amazing is that? Freedom of movement isn't just about highways anymore. It's about choices. And Charlotte's finally building those into the foundation. This shift matters because the way we move influences how we live. And as people rethink their commutes, their neighborhood, and what convenience really means, it's laying the groundwork for something bigger. Because next, we're talking culture, food, and lifestyle, and how Charlotte's finally stepping in to its own identity. Could you live in a walkable, car-optional neighborhood? Drop a comment. Let me know. Would you give up driving a few days a week if the city made it easy? And if you're looking to buy here in the city, again, I would love to be your go-to resource. Give me a shout. My info's on the screen. And don't forget, smash that subscribe button. Charlotte's always been a city on the rise, but for a long time, it didn't always know what kind of city it wanted to be. Now, it's finding its voice. And in 2025, that voice sounds like music, echoing off murals that taste like wood-fired oxtail and saffron cocktails. It feels like streetlights on a summer night, buzzing with people who actually want to be where they are. This isn't just growth, it's identity. Let's go back to Camp North End, because what started as an artsy warehouse experiment is now a full-blown cultural hub. You'll find local artists painting live, sunset markets with DJs spinning soul and street food that rivals what you'll find in food halls in New York and LA. What makes it special is it still feels local, still feels gritty, still feels creative, actual room to breathe. And over in Noda in the West End, that energy isn't just surviving, it's maturing. Noda still walks to the beat of its own drum. That's not changing. Mural-covered walls, spoken word on back patios, and impromptu jam set at the Smelly Cat Cafe. But there's more polish now without losing its edge. In the West End, grassroots ground galleries and open mic nights are becoming staples. You've got platforms like Boom Charlotte shining light on homegrown talent while national tours are rolling through Blumenthal and actually selling out. This isn't curated culture, it's lived in. And the city is growing up, and so has the food. From gas stations to gourmet, Charlotte's bold food scene, you still got the classics like Fig Tree, Haberdish, Lee and Louise. But what's new is the confidence. Chefs are taking risks. Influences are getting bolder. You'll find Afro-Caribbean fusion over in East Charlotte, Korean street food near South Boulevard, and yes, literal gas stations turning into five-star dining spots. And the food is starting to tell stories and attracting attention. And when all of this comes together, you start to get the real soul of what living in Charlotte is really like. From Queen City jam sessions to block parties right here in South End to live jazz and Greer Heights, Charlotte weekends are no longer an afterthought. Just hop on Google, click in things to do this weekend, and watch the 50-plus options you have pop up. And here's the best part. Charlotte's not trying to be Atlanta or Nashville or Austin. Charlotte is finally showing up as Charlotte. A little edgy, a little polished, but 100% all of its own. In our final chapter, we'll zoom out and talk about why this exact moment matters, why this mix of growth, culture, and opportunity is creating a window that won't stay open for long. Drop me a comment and tell me what makes you feel at home in a new city. And when you're ready, stop watching from the sidelines and you're ready to actually move to this city, get in touch with me. I'd be honored to help. Let's zoom out for a second. Charlotte isn't just growing, it's becoming. You've seen the skyline, cranes, condos, and rooftop views changing the way people live. You've seen the neighborhoods that are changing and waking up from years of maybe someday, they're coming. You've seen the job market reshaping who moves here and why they stay. You've seen the transit upgrade, the culture shift. The food scene's getting gutsy, but none of it's random. This city is finding its soul, finally. And for people who move smart, it's a window of real opportunity. Why timing matters? Because here's what happens. First come the early signs, the first few flips. Then come the headlines, the city's catching on. Then come the price wars. Right now, we're sitting in that in-between space where smart buyers, investors, and relocators still have a shot to get in before the obvious neighborhoods that felt up and coming have arrived, and now they're priced out a few years from now. The lifestyle perks that seem like bonuses now, walkability, skyline views, transit access, those will quickly become non-negotiables in the near future. I'm Joe Mcintosh, your local Charlotte realtor, and thanks for watching another episode of the Carolina Salute, where we bring your military work ethic to the real estate market. I work with you for strategy and goals and timeline, regardless of what you want to buy. Reach out to me early, and let's try to make your moving process as smooth as possible. Until next time, y'all have a good one.